Okay, so now I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited about this week's lesson. Just number one, God gives me information, and I'm just like, I was dancing. I'm like, this is fire right now. This fire this week. Okay. Okay, so I actually wanted to go, and I usually, this week's lesson, this is our 6th week. Yay, everybody. I'm so proud of everybody just being consistent and diligent with these lessons. So this is lesson 6. We've done this for 6 weeks. So we should all be, very excited about our journey and evolving and learning. So this week lesson, I'm gonna read lesson 6. Um, it says, I am upset because I see something that is not there. And then I'm just going to read like the first paragraph. It says, the exercises with this idea are very similar to the preceding ones. Again, it is necessary to name both the form of upset, such as anger, fear, worry, depression, and so on, and the perceived source very specifically for any application of the idea. For example, I am angry at Stanley. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. Because I see something that is not there. Or I am worried about money because I see something that is not there. Or even more specific, I'm worried about uh, buying groceries. Okay. There you go. By chair. That was chair. Um, so that is this week's lesson. But I wanted to focus on actually another lesson that most of you have already covered. I'm going to skip a little bit um, and do another lesson. It's lesson number 19 that really is powerful, and it's associated with what we're going to be talking about tonight. So lesson 19 is, I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. Um, the idea for today is obviously the reason why you're seeing does not affect you alone. You will notice that at times the ideas related to thinking precede those relating to perceiving, while at other times the order is reversed. The reason is that the order does not matter. Thinking and its results are really simultaneous, for cause and effect are never separate. And so this is one of the lessons that talks about our thoughts are not in isolation. We are not the only ones who experience the impact of our thoughts. So I wanted to talk about how we create. And I'm very excited about this because again, this is information that we're not told. I mean, we walk around, we create, and we don't realize we create. We don't realize we have any impact on our environment. Most of us think, before we got to this material, we think that things just happen to us. So I wanted to talk about how we create. So everything starts with a thought. Everything that we experience in this realm starts with a thought, even like the color of your wall. Khadija's paint color in her house is gray. That's been very talked about. Somebody said, you know what, I want to make a paint that's not white and it's not brown, it's not black, but it's a little bit kind of in between. It's not quite white, but it has a hint to it. It has a hue to it. Somebody came up with that particular shade of gray. Um, so everything that we see, everything that the eye sees started with a thought. That's why I always say Suicide starts with a thought. That thought started, I'm not happy, I don't want to be here, and it builds. And so our thoughts have literally created our world, which is why we are studying this course, because we recognize how powerful we are as creators. And so we either create consciously or we create unconsciously. And if we create consciously, we tend to create, this is all an illusion. If we create consciously, we tend to create happy, happy thoughts. We're in a dream, we create a happy dream. But if we create unconsciously, we can create pain and suffering. So how do we create? First of all, I wanted to reference again my favorite book, Conversations with God. And let me say this, looking up this subject of creation, because this is where I realized how we create. And by the way, Ebony found, I know Greg last week was saying that Conversations with God was on YouTube for free. It's true. You're able to access the whole book via YouTube for free. So it's not even, a reason to even buy it from Amazon. But I wanted to say, in the book Conversations with God, A Course in Miracles is actually mentioned. So I just thought that was funny. So God says, all attack is a call for help. And then the author said, I read that in A Course in Miracles, and God said, I put it there. So I just thought that was funny. But in terms of creation, so let me go to Conversations with God real quick. The process of creation starts with thoughts, an idea, conception, visualization. Everything you see was once someone's idea, what I just said. Nothing exists in your world that does not first exist as pure thought. This is true of the universe as well. Thought is the first level of creation. Next comes speech, word, the second and more powerful level of creation. So first we think something, and we could think something and recognize that that thought really doesn't hold validity, and it stays right there. We're on to a new thought. But then if we think something and we're attached enough to that thought to where we speak it, then that's another level, another and more powerful level of creation. So it says, next comes the word. Everything you say is a thought expressed. It is creative and sends forth creative energy into the universe. Words are more dynamic. Thus, some might say more creative than thought, because words are a different level of vibration from thought. They disrupt, change, alter, affect the universe with greater impact. That's why if someone is saying whatever, their friends may say, girl, don't speak that in the universe. You better not speak. Why, you girl, be careful what you're speaking in the universe. So whether on a conscious level or an unconscious level, we realize that we're creators and what we speak has power. And I always think about the Bible and the very first lines of the Bible in Genesis, when it says, in the beginning there was God. And God said, let there be light. And that's all it took. There was light. And then he began to create the entire universe with his word. So in that way, we are sons and daughters of Source, and we also have those powerful energies to speak in existence. It's creative. We don't know that. We don't realize that. So it's another reason to be mindful of what we say. So then finally, the third and most powerful level of creation is our actions. And it in Conversations with God says actions are words moving. Words are thoughts expressed. Thoughts are ideas formed. Ideas are energies come together. Um, and I'm going to read this. It says, your thought about yourself is that he's basically saying your thought about yourself is that you are not good enough, not wondrous enough, not sinless enough to be a part of God, in partnership with God. You have denied for so long who you are that you have forgotten who you are. But of course, now we are on the process of remembering. So this is very powerful, because thoughts and speech and action all impacts our vibration. It impacts the matter that we build around us. That's why if somebody is not doing well, we'll often ask, what is the matter? Because we create with our thoughts, speech, and actions our physical experience. And so if we don't know that, we continue to create on a level that makes us unhappy. If you notice, A Course in Miracles helps us to be present. And so I was thinking of an example of how we can reference, A Course in Miracles. So today I was very annoyed. I was very annoyed with a lot of things. So I noticed when I get annoyed, I'll say to myself, I'm not upset for the reason I think I am. Excuse me, y'all. I'm not upset for the reason I think I am. And I don't understand all the way understand what that means, but I just know that I don't know enough to know that I may not be upset why I think I should be upset. I may be upset because somebody said something and I'm conditioned to think that what they said is inappropriate or disrespectful or whatever. It may be a result of programming. I'm not upset for the reason I think I am. It's one of my favorite lessons. And it's just a way to become present. It's a way to recognize the ego's voice and separate from it, to detach ourselves from whatever position that we're holding. If we're arguing with somebody and we have a position, it's a way to say, you know what, let me separate myself from ego. Let me separate myself from this position and just realize that, I'm not upset for the reason I think I am. Or another lesson is I don't know I don't know what's beneficial for me. I don't know what what needs to happen to for my benefit. Of course, I'm paraphrasing a particular lesson. So I wanted to emphasize tonight the importance of not following your thoughts. And I came up with an example of what does that mean? What does that mean? Don't follow your thoughts. So I came up with an example of a thought, what I call a thought stream. So, okay, a person is walking down the street, or a person is in a meeting, right? And she looks across the table at her colleague, um, and she thinks, wow, she is really successful at what she does, and she makes a lot of money. I could be doing that. I'm just as talented as her. I could be doing it. I would be further along career wise right now if I had gotten my master's degree instead of having the kids, and now I'm stuck. I'm always going to be struggling financially. Financial freedom will always elude me. Those kinds of opportunities that she has just don't come to people like me. I'm a failure at everything I do. So when we think about that thought stream that was just made, it actually started as a compliment. And then it just became into something else. Um, and one of the ways to recognize when the ego voice has come forward is when you're thinking and it's a lot of I statements. Um, when she started, first recognizing her power, I'm just as talented. But then, if I had not have had my kids, I'm always struggling, I'm a failure. That's the ego voice keeping us small. That's not something that's available to you. You can't be that successful. Um, the ego likes to keep us small. So, not following that stream of thought and to recognize when the thoughts become heavy or negative, recognizing it is a blessing because we can be what we call lost in thought. Where for a whole 10 minutes, we're just like on a mental strain. And it's like, oh my God, where's the last 10, 15 minutes been? I'm totally thinking about how horrible my ex was or whatever, a way that we can recognize when thoughts are not serving us. So how do we recognize when a thought is negative? Because it's so subjective, and there is a lesson that talks about that. But a way that you can recognize that is what we all have, and it's called an internal guidance system. So if we think something or if we do something and we start feeling bad, we start feeling sad, angry, frustrated, um, you know, depressed, those kind of things. We feel bad because we think that the thoughts we're having are true. And that's why we feel bad. That's not actually why we feel bad. We're feeling bad because we're getting off track from love. It's like your internal guidance system that's telling you, wait a minute, no, 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 you're veering off from the truth. You're veering off from the truth of who you are. You're veering off from the truth of who God is. And you're veering off from the truth of who your sister or brother is. One of the things that we often think is, I am alone. And just the vibration of that statement, the belief in that statement is very low, very heavy. And when we say it and believe it, we immediately, get a negative indication in our feelings. But again, we think it's because we're really alone, and it's not. It's saying, no, no, you are off track of love. The truth is, you're never alone. Will you physically see loving beings around you or not? You're never alone. God is experiencing the universe through you. You carry God everywhere you go. So this is important because it's our thoughts that often that makes us suffer. It's our thoughts. Most of the time, it's our thoughts. If we're depressed, we are having a constant stream of thoughts that are low in vibration. And I always remind my clients and the people I'm talking to is, so again, one of the things that's been held from us is that our thoughts are true. Your thoughts are energy, just blast. It's like a blast of energy. That's it. It's nothing more, nothing less. That's it. So that thought can be believed, or not. We have a choice. You actually have a choice whether to believe your thought or not. And I tell people that you are the driver of your vehicle. Um, there can be, and there are many passengers in your car that you drive, many passengers. But ultimately, you are the driver and you dictate where your consciousness goes. Your passenger side, the person in your passenger side may be the critical voice, like, why did I do that? I should know better. That was so stupid. Another passenger can be the pessimistic voice. That didn't work for you last time, so what makes you think you're going to be successful at it this time? Another passenger may be an optimistic voice. You can do this, girl. And yet another passenger may be the fearful voice. What if I get up there and lose my train of thought? What if I never succeed at what I'm dreaming of doing? Or the infamous taskmaster passenger that I often hear, especially on days when I just want to camp out on my spiritual material, my Course in Miracles. I'm not just going to do my lesson. Let me just read a few pages and see what Jesus is talking about. Let me look at Conversations with God because I love it. And I always get that voice like, you need to hurry up because you have things to do today. Did you return that email from that your boss sent you? You can't devote the whole day to this. And I got annoyed the other day, and I was like, why not? Like, leave me alone. Why can't I just do this? The kids grown enough to fix their food, and everybody grown, everybody good. This is the space that I want to be in right now. Why do I have to feel rushed? So that's a voice that often comes up for me. And it's ego, because ego really is about the body. Ego is about the body surviving, how good the body looks, defending yourself. If somebody attacks you, defending yourself. If somebody insults you, having a response to insult them back or hurt their feelings. So all this spiritual stuff, the ego voice is always going to come up and convince you why you shouldn't be giving this your time. There are more important things to do. Every thought is creative. Not all thoughts should be believed, empowered, or followed. You determine how you would like to use your creative power. It is your choice. I think that our thoughts have held us hostage for too long. What we didn't realize, you know what? I don't believe. I talk to my ego all the time. I really do. Um, one time, it was the sun was out, the kids were on their electronics. I told them, y'all need to get out there and get on your bikes. And then 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock rolls around, they're still on their electronics. And then I have this thought, well, you a bad mother. They didn't even get their message from the sun today. You didn't even make them go out. So I'm like, you know what? I put it out there. They didn't go. You have you've lost validity. Be quiet. I tell my ego all the time, be quiet, shut up. And the blessing is to recognize the ego voice. Because if you recognize it, you're able to separate yourself from that voice and understand it's not who you are, especially in an argument. I can be arguing with somebody and at the same time be thinking, Loretta, you have your thoughts that the ego has put in your head, in addition to the emotion that you're adding to it, the anger, the frustration, the need to defend yourself. Your ego right now is strengthened. And I recognize it, but I keep going arguing. We ain't perfect, right? But the blessing is to understand and recognize that we are not ego identified, that voice is not us. It is a separate stream of consciousness that we can follow. Now, the ego is not all bad, and that's something I want to talk about next week. What is the ego? What was the purpose of the ego? It's not all bad. It serves a purpose. There's a reason why we, have egos, but obviously, egos, the ego voice often you have to have an ego voice in order to kill yourself. The ego voice can be very dangerous. If you believe that voice and follow it, it can be dangerous to you and to others. So that's why there's so much energy being put into, especially from spiritual material, into recognizing that voice and separating yourself from it. So the part of you that recognizes the ego voice is what they call the great observer. It is your soul. It is your spirit. You are observing that stream of consciousness, and you're recognizing that it's not you. There are actually meditations that people have where they sit still and allow their thoughts to come instead of trying to not think of anything. They allow the thoughts to come, and what they do is they label that thought. And so the thought will come, you need to do laundry. Oh, okay, that thought is the taskmaster thought. It's giving me tasks to do. And then the thought will come, you need to lose weight. Okay, that thought is about form. It's about the body, just labeling the thoughts and allow them to float away, because that's who we are. We are the observer. We can really observe our whole life and kind of observe ourselves experiencing life, because this is, all a play that we're doing. So does anybody have anything to say about that? I was very excited about it because I think it's important, and I think that, I want us all to be able to kind of be more cognizant of what we think, especially of what we say, and most importantly, what we do. So did anybody have any feedback on that? Nothing? Sophia, Takia, Ebony, Khadijah, Charmaine, look, I'm gonna call it. Okay, so I'm assuming that resonates with everybody. I'm assuming, we all recognize that. We all see how we can be higher than our thoughts. So let's make sure we create. Khadijah, did you have anything to say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that for me, like that's empowering to be able to like recognize your thought, separate yourself from it, like recognize that it's coming from ego, label
Mhm.
it, and just let it float away. Like that really is empowering because I'm always in my head about something good, bad, ugly. Like so that's a good it's a good practice just to get into. You know,
Mhm.
it's not going to be perfect and I'm not going to be on it 100% from the start, but
Mhm.
it's definitely a nice goal to have and
Yeah,
something to look forward to. It's almost like you're gaining control of yourself, almost like.
yeah,
And then even
exactly.
how you, yeah, like even in the room I'm sitting in right now, I'm sitting in a room full of thoughts. The paint, the door, the window, these are
Wow.
all thoughts that
Yeah.
are in this room. And
Wow.
I was like, wow, that's dope. Like
Yeah.
that's nice. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I got out of it.
Yes. Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. So,
Yeah.
so if nobody else has anything to say, of course, I wanted to go into the meditation. I'm also excited about the meditation. This meditation, and Khadidra's familiar with this. I found this wonderful site called Jeshua'sChannelings.com. Let me see if I can put it in chat real quick. Um, to everyone. And what I love about this site is it's online. All of the channelings are online. They're from Jesus, they're from Mary Magdalene, they're from Mother Earth. It's just there's nothing else like it. I read a lot of spiritual material, but this particular site where Jesus and other high vibrational beings channel through another woman. They don't just channel through Tina. There's that this site is the channelings on this site are so high in vibration. They will help you get the ground yourself in how unconditionally loved you are. That is what I read these channelings from this site when I was very young into this thing. And that's when I realized that we're courageous for being here, that we're powerful, we're beautiful. It just, I love it. So this particular meditation is inspired by Mother Earth. It's not a meditation. I turned it into a meditation from some of the things that she was saying. Yes, Mother Earth speaks to us, and it's always such a loving voice. So let's start the meditation, and let's close our eyes and sit in a comfortable position, if you can. And as always, breathe in through your nose and exhaling through your mouth, releasing all that does not serve you. Inhaling again and exhaling through the mouth as you completely empty your lungs, and with every breath, relaxing yourself from your head to your eyelids, to your throat, to your shoulders, to your arms and your elbows, allowing that relaxing energy to just move through your whole body. As we inhale again and exhale, if we consistently breathe like this with every meditation, every day that we start our meditation, it trains our brains and our bodies to say, now it's time to step into peace. Now it's time to be quiet. And so it always starts with the 3 deep breaths and relaxation that follows every exhale. Now, as we breathe in a comfortable rhythm, I would like for you to connect with your soul. Connect with that part of you that you know knows everything. There is a vertical flow from heaven to earth through our crown chakra, from heaven to earth, all the way down through our bodies to the ground. The soul descends and the body becomes imbued with the light of the soul. The body is nurtured and inspired by the soul, which is why when our souls have decided that our experience on this earth is complete, the body becomes just matter, inanimated matter. And we know that whoever, when we're at a funeral, whoever we're viewing, that soul is no longer in that body. So the body receives the soul. And as we connect with this powerful energy that is within us all, and the light passes through the body into the earth, from that point of view, from this point of view, there is absolutely nothing to worry about. Everything is fine as it should be, as you have this powerful soul. Feel this gentle yet powerful flow from heaven to earth, from head to toe. Feel your divinity. Feel the part of you that you know will live forever. The part of you that is beyond this particular experience. As we take another deep breath, we recognize that we are engaging in life within the body. And with this illusion of separation also comes a horizontal experience, which invites other energies that are at play. These horizontal experiences and influences that come from society are based on fear and judgment, and the idea that life on earth is entirely about survival, struggle, and competition with others. These horizontal influences produce anxiety, stress, and worry that we may feel in our stomach and abdomen, our chest, our upper back, and our throat as we take a deep breath with that information. And exhale. Understanding that there are horizontal influences, we reconnect though to that soul. What matters is that you feel ever more strongly the connection that runs vertically, the connection between heaven and earth, between soul and body. Let's reconnect with that vertical flow back to heaven, back to the soul. This connection strengthens you and enables you to preserve your light so that the lower vibrations of fear will no longer have much effect on you. Though we are having this experience, we can also always be conscious and cognizant that though we are in the world, We are not of it. And now I would like for you to imagine that your light is now flowing through you into the world, sending that powerful God energy outward to the universe. As you do this, you are helping to shape the collective energy on this planet and redirect it by making it more light and more radiant so that it is easier for other people to believe in their flow between soul and body, their connection between above and below. So as we are sending this beautiful light outward toward the universe, allowing that light to heal those around us. Now, I would like for you to relax your arms beside you and place your hands on your lap. And as you rest your hands on your lap, I would like for you to turn the palms of your hands up toward the ceiling and slowly open your hands and keep your hands open as they rest on your lap, keeping those palms of your hands open toward the sky. As your hands are open, I would like for you to slowly release all of the worry, stress, fear, anxiety, anger, rage, depression. I would like for you to release all of that as we take a deep breath and feel those energies releasing from our bodies. They do not mean us well. So through the palms of our hands, feeling those low vibrations being slowly released into the universe. Oftentimes when we are stressed, we clench our fists as if we are fighting a battle. I invite you to surrender all your worries, all your troubles, all your concerns, all your responsibilities to God, who sustains us all. There is a lesson in A Course in Miracles that states, I am sustained by the love of God. And if we believe that lesson, we will enter into the space of surrender. So allowing God to take those burdens, we understanding that we cannot hold on to any of it, not the seemingly small stressors or the big ones. They are all alike and all are meant to be given to God, who knows every hair on your head. And when you comb your hair and some hairs are released with the comb, God knows the new number of hairs on your head. We are unconditionally loved. So as we take a deep breath and connect with the knowledge that you are unconditionally loved by your source, there is no greater love than God, no force greater equipped to figure it all out. Every single bit of what may be troubling you. As you continue to hold your palms to the ceiling, you are sending a powerful message to God that your complete trust is in Him. You are releasing it all to Him for help. Now, as Mother Earth supports you and your guides surround you, I would like you to remember this feeling. Remember this feeling. This is what surrender feels like. Surrender does not mean to give up, but surrender means to completely trust your source from which you came. And as we take a deep breath and reintegrate back into our rooms, back into our bodies, we remember this beautiful feeling. And we know that we can surrender always and at all times. And our peace will be restored. It is our choice. We can choose to release our fears and anxieties. We have a choice. Peace and joy is our birthright as God's children. So as we integrate in our bodies and slowly open our eyes, we'll take this feeling of surrender with us and apply this meditation every time we find that we have stress. Every time we feel that feeling of anxiety, we can hold our palms open and say, God, it's yours. How does everybody feel? So that's it for me tonight, guys. It's 6:54.